Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim's Special Edition. My name is Camel, and today we are going to acquire and use all 5 of the hidden paragons in the Forgotten Vale. These items may seem menial or perhaps even uninteresting, but they take us to secret, hidden and otherwise inaccessible areas of the Forgotten Vale, boasting great loot or even ancient artifacts. Oftentimes they are overlooked and not collected by many players, and even if they are, not many people know what to do with them. Now, not only are the paragons valuable themselves, but you'll probably loot between 10,000 and 20,000 gold's worth of items from these 5 portals alone. The number will vary depending on your level, but hot damn, it's a very easy way to get rich. Timestamps for each of the paragons can be found down in the description if you are here just to figure out where to get one of them, and down there you can also find links to my social media and to my other Skyrim Special Edition guides. Be sure to check them all out. And if you are following this guide on the Skyrim Standard Edition, you will need the Dawnguard DLC to acquire and use these items. So, firstly, we'll need to come to the Forgotten Vale. To do this, you'll need to be on the quest called Touching the Sky, which is part of the Dawnguard DLC's main quests. So if you're not up to that yet, just go and do the main quest for Dawnguard DLC and you'll be at the Forgotten Vale in no time at all. I would also like to apologize just because the Forgotten Vale does not have a map, but I'll do my best to guide you accurately through this frozen wasteland. But if you do feel lost at any point, just go into the Forgotten Vale in-game and spend 10 minutes wandering around and you'll get a grasp of where everything is. Also, each of the paragons is carried by a frost giant, so be prepared for a fight, or 5 of them to be specific. We'll collect the paragons in order of how you would find them as you progressed naturally through the Forgotten Vale. So, firstly, the Amethyst Paragon. To get this, we'll need to walk out of the forest to the river with all of the waterfalls. Then follow it north as it wraps around to the next waterfall. At the base, there will be a shallow cave with a frost giant in it. Kill it. Once that is done, loot its corpse and we'll get the Amethyst Paragon. So now that we have the Paragon, what do we do with it? Well, just above the giant, up the waterfall, on the next tier of the river, there is the only Paragon portal in the game. Go up to it and insert the Amethyst Paragon. This will activate the portal and we can enter it to be taken to Darkfall Grotto. Specifically an otherwise inaccessible, high up area on a cave pillar, decorated beautifully with giant glowing mushrooms and ancient snow elf pillars. There is a chest up here which will contain random leveled loot, but you should get a decent haul. There is also a draft of strength up here as well. Not entirely sure of the purpose of this place, but it's cool nonetheless. Secondly, the Sapphire Paragon. This can be found on a giant literally just across the river from the Paragon portal. Kill the giant and loot its corpse, where we'll find the Sapphire Paragon. Take it back across the river and insert it into the interface, then enter the portal that is spawned. This will take us to the hidden vault of the inner sanctum of Auriel's Chantry. This is an absolute treasure, this one, quite literally. It's stunningly beautiful to lay your eyes upon, with the fractured strands of light reaching through the windows into the room from the shattered frozen wastes outside. There are 3 chests in total, all of which contain random leveled loot with an assortment of elven armor and weapons laying around, but most stunningly of all, gems, jewels. There's more carrots lying around here than a vegetable farm. Needless to say, loot it all. Even at the low level of 21, I was able to get 1 ruby, 14 garnets, 1 flawless ruby, 4 flawless garnets, 1 flawless emerald, 4 flawless amethysts, 1 emerald, 2 diamonds, and 4 amethyst. Just from this room alone, not including what was in the chests either, just the gems lying around the room. That's a total value in gems alone of 6,700 gold. That's not bad at all, and it's very easy work. Thirdly, the Emerald Paragon. This can be found on the giant that is located high in the mountains in the northwestern region of the Forgotten Vale, and at the top of the hill there is a cave with a giant in it. Kill it and then loot its corpse, on which we'll find the Emerald Paragon. Head back down to the Paragon portal and insert the Emerald Paragon and then enter the newly opened portal. This will take us to a location known as the Forgotten Vale Overlook, high up and above the waterfall that flows down into the frozen lake next to the temple, a place, ironically, often overlooked or not even looked at all, as its location renders it rather occult. There are some beautiful icy blue rapids flowing down across the rocks. There are remnants of ancient elven ruins. If we head down the rapids, it seems like a fruitless effort, as we'll just be shot off the edge and into the water, or hit the ice and be killed instantly. But just before the edge, to the right, there is a little outcrop of land that holds many items of interest. An enchanted greatsword, an unknown ancient Falmer book, elven arrows, an enchanted bow, a skeleton and a chest, which of course contains random leveled loot, but it should make a good haul, especially if you're a high level. The price alone of the enchanted sword and the enchanted bow will add a hefty sum to your overall booty grab. Yes, I just said that. Not to be overlooked either is the unknown ancient Falmer book. There are 4 of these and they can be collected and sold to Urag Groshub at the College of Winterhold for 1,000 gold each. Again, adding a lovely number to your overall loot value from these paragons. I will have a full guide of how to find all 4 of the books for anyone interested, but for now, be sure to grab everything up here and take in the view before heading back down. Fourthly, we have the Diamond Paragon. Now to get this, we'll have to head through a location known as the Glacial Crevice. I'm sure that direction sounds vague as hell, but to be in the Forgotten Vale, you have to be on the quest Touching the Sky, and you have to come up here for that quest, so it will be no problem whatsoever, as you'll have quest markers leading you right to the Glacial Crevice and then the places after it, which is exactly where we want to be. And as soon as you come out, turn left and follow the path northwest. At the end, there is a cave with the Frost Giant. Kill him and loot his corpse, from which you'll want to take the Diamond Paragon. Once you have it, head back to the Paragon portal and insert the Diamond Paragon. Then enter the newly opened portal. This will take us to the Glacial Crevice, the very one we had to travel through to get to the Falmer Fissure in the first place, but specifically, this will take us to a super high and again otherwise unreachable area, with the remnants of ancient snow elf structures, and down the path another chest, which contains random leveled loot, but will be a lovely addition to the overall haul value from these paragons. Apart from that, there isn't much here, but be careful not to slip. Finally, we have the Ruby Paragon. This is easily the hardest to get. Well, you know what, it's not actually hard to get, it's just really easily missed. Very easily missed, in fact. So during the quest Touching the Sky, which sends you through the Forgotten Vale, you'll have an item called the Initiate's Ewer. Well, once you head into the inner sanctum of Auriel's Chantry, while we can spot many beautiful things, we will notice a strange shrine-looking altar over against one of the walls. We need to click on it and place the Initiate's Ewer on the pedestal. This will activate and open a secret door. Inside here is the 5th and final Frost Giant. Slay him and loot his corpse, where we'll find the Ruby Paragon. So as you see, it's no harder than the others to get, but unless you know exactly what to do and how to open the secret door, you'll probably miss it. So once you've got it, head back to the Paragon portal. Place the Ruby Paragon into the console and enter the newly open Paragon portal. We'll be taken to the Forgotten Vale Forest, an unreachable area of the Forgotten Vale, high up in the mountains. Quite frankly, this area is beautiful, but we are not alone. In the most northern section of the Forgotten Vale Forest, there is a hill, at the top of which are 2 dead frost trolls, a live frost troll, a Falmer warmonger, some ancient snow elf ruins, a chest, and a skeleton leaning on it. Of course, the chest will contain random level loot, which will add a nice hefty sum to your overall haul. Most importantly though, this Falmer here is actually carrying the Adric artifact, Auriel's shield. I'll have a guide for the shield for anyone interested, so be sure to loot that and use it in the name of the birth of time, Auriel. So that concludes where to find all 5 of the paragons, where to find the Paragon portal, and what you can find through each of the portals. In total, I looted just over 17,000 gold's worth of items from these Paragon portals, and that's not including the unknown Falmer book, which has a value of 1,000 gold, or the value of the paragons themselves. Including those aforementioned items, this would push the total value to just around 20,000 gold. Of course, you won't be able to sell any of these items at face value, but nonetheless, that's a damn good haul, and it's definitely worth taking a few minutes out of your in-game day to collect the 5 paragons and loot the goods from their portals. It's definitely also worth mentioning, as a lot of the loot is randomized from the chests. I did this on a level 21 character, so the loot I got was pretty average. Of course, the higher level your character is, the better and more powerful, and therefore more valuable, the items you find will be. So go and grab the paragons, and have fun with your new Valve game, Portal. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Camel, and this has been my guide for the 5 paragons found in the Forgotten Vale, how to find the paragon portal, how to use them, and what to expect through each of the portals. I do hope this video helped you out, and if it did, you'll be very interested in checking out my other Skyrim Special Edition guides that I've already done. Links to them can be found down in the description. Now, down there in the old description, you can also find links to my social media. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And if you'd like to support the channel in a more personal way, you can become a heroic patron on Patreon. As I'm sure you know, all of my time and energy goes into making these videos that I create for you to enjoy, so your support is most appreciated and welcomed in any and all forms. So thank you very much for watching, thank you for supporting the channel, and I will see you very shortly in the next video. I'll see you there soon.